How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the Colorado school shooting that does not really seem to be on the mainstream media's radar anymore for some reason. But before we get into the reasons why it's probably not on the radar anymore, let's back up a little bit here to explain where it happened, who was involved, and the proximity to a different school shooting in the past. Now, this happened at the STEM school, Highlands Ranch. It's about 10 miles or less away from Columbine High School, where the infamous school shooting happened probably about 20 years ago, give or take a few years. Now, you would think all of that right there I just mentioned would make for constant media headlines and attention. Oh, it's not too far away from Columbine. We've not come too far in the past 20 years. We still got to do gun control, gun reform. But for some reason, I'm not really seeing it on the mainstream media's radar. It's really weird. Let's get into why it's probably not in the news anymore. There are two suspects. I won't name them, but if you want to find out, I'll place information about them in the box. One of the suspects is transgender. All right. They were born as a female, but identify as male. They did not like their schoolmates. They had a tough time dealing with whatever they had going on. And also their father is an illegal alien who is a felon. All right. So we ain't talking about just a guy coming over here to work in the fields. We're talking about a criminal alien. All right. That's the first thing. So if they want to talk about that person, then they got to talk about somebody that's from the LGBT squad that is doing some very bad things. But they don't want to do that because everybody from the LGBT community is perfect and can't do any wrong. All right. You talk about equality, but then when it comes to certain people in certain little groups, then they're not equal because they're just above everybody else and can't do any wrong. But that's a different story. And then you got to talk about illegal immigration. OK, this person's father is an illegal immigrant. Are you going to say we shouldn't deport this person, although their son, daughter, whatever is a criminal and they are as well? But I digress. The next person posted on Twitter about how much they hated Trump and they hated Christians and all those things. So you can't go to the whole, anti-Christian argument because one of the shooters was anti-Christian. You can't go to the whole white supremacist MAGA hat Trump supporter because this person did not like Trump. So all your narratives you normally have are out the window. This ain't Dylan Roof. This ain't the guy from Parkland. This ain't that. This is a whole different ball of wax. So how do you really attack it? You don't. You just simply ignore it like it never happened. You want to focus on the wall and China, the tariffs and stuff like that. It's not even really important. These things have been going on for a long time. There's always been trade wars happening. The wall has been there really before Trump came into office. Trump just wants to extend it. You're focusing on things that don't really make a difference, things that aren't really important because you can't find an angle to attack this whole thing in Colorado on. The gun control thing, if you want to attack that, then you got to attack those who actually did the crime. And when you see them in court and you know how basically anti-Trump and anti-everything you say that Trump is, where's your hook into that? You don't have any. So that's why you don't see anything about that on the mainstream media anymore. You saw it when it happened. It was a whole big story and then it vanished. That gives me proof that the media focus on what they want to focus on. All right. So I'm not trying to hear these excuses about, oh, we got to cover this. We got to cover that. It's hot. It's going on right now. Everybody want to talk about it. No, much of the mainstream media covers whatever they want to cover. If they want a story to be big, it'll be big. If they want a story to go away, it'll go away. And that's why people like myself and many others are here to bring forth things that the mainstream media does not want to bring forth. That's why they're trying to attack many of us, because we have the power to say things and get across to an audience what they wish they could but cannot, or what they don't want to and they wish that we can't. So that is pretty much it. As I close, I want to say this. I think the whole gun control argument is silly. We need to just have better security in these schools and focus on the mental health aspect of it. That's one more thing you got to say about the mainstream media and why they're not covering this. There was some kind of vigil or some kind of gathering for this particular shooting, and the kids that were there walked out because all of a sudden it became about gun control. They were chanting mental health, which is the bigger thing here. A lot of these kids are on all kind of drugs to drown out whatever they got going on to try and medicate the mental health when there should be some kind of therapy happening, and it should be a better household in which these kids are being brought up rather than trying to artificially medicate them. I think the Parkland kid was on drugs. A lot of these kids are on drugs when they go out here and do these things, which is why I'm not for legalizing all drugs, because we see the carnage that it can wreak on society, but that's a different story. And again, I digress. The point is that these kids, this situation, everything around it is totally against what the mainstream media wants. They're trying to push gun control. The kids of the school ain't trying to hear that. They're trying to say mental health. They're trying to push this whole, oh, he was a Christian Trump supporter, or the person was not a Christian, hated Christians and hated Trump. They're trying to say, oh, it's about LGBT bullying. Meanwhile, one of the shooters was transgender themselves, born as a female but identifies as male. So all their narratives, all the things they want to try to attack when a school shooting happens, they can attack. So their best bet is to leave it alone, but I won't leave it alone. I'll bring it to the light so you know what's going on, and you won't let the mainstream media dictate to you what news is important and what news is not important. So that's pretty much all I got. What say you? Do you think that this case kind of got swept under the rug because of all of what I mentioned? Or is it a deeper thing here? Was it not big enough death toll? The one person that died was a hero. They saved their classmates. They jumped in front of the person and then lost their life as a result of that. So maybe they don't want to talk about that either. Maybe they don't want to talk about the resolve of people, the strength of people. They want to focus on the weakness and how much we need the state to come in and do for ourselves what we can't do for ourselves. Maybe that's the case, but whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.